Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta's live stream service. We have like a full Thanksgiving. Our first hymn is a congregational favorite, number 318, We Would Be One. We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free. So glad you are here to celebrate with us this morning, a service about impractical gratitude and gratitude of all kinds.
Thank you, Don. I do think that could be a contender. We should start compiling a list or getting suggestions for the hymns we would sing on our first day back together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's definitely on the list. Well, welcome to Sunday, to the beginning of the, not day, but week of eating. Don Milton has said it. It is so, and so it shall be. My name is Reverend Taryn Strauss, and I am the senior minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, a congregation that saves lives, that serves the world. Welcome to Sunday, to our worship series, The Qualities of Resilience. This is a time we are building our resilience to get through a hard winter, to get through a season of staying separated physically, but building connection across distance in so many other ways. Whomever you love, wherever you are from, whatever path you are on, you are welcome to worship with us. I do have some announcements for us this morning. Please mark your calendars. The Adult RE series, So You Want to Talk About Race, returns on Tuesday, December 1st at 7:30 p.m. with Michael Baran, co-author of Subtle Acts of Exclusion, Addressing Bias and Microaggressions. And then, on December 8th, the Adult RE program will feature Atlanta's own Jen Wilsey, one of the most highly skilled white anti-racist facilitators of our time. She will explain what all that white allyship truly requires. As always, each Tuesday session is recorded and repeated the following Sunday at 5 p.m. To register, you can follow the link in your weekly update email, or you can follow the link that is going into the chat right now. In addition to the classes, the Adult RE program is starting a book club. To coincide with our 5-part series on race, we are exploring the New York Times bestseller that inspired this series, titled So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijoma Owolo. The book club runs from December 5th, 2020 through February 11th, 2021, skipping some holiday weeks. We have 2 options each week to discuss the same section of the book, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and Thursdays at noon. Please see the link that is going into the chat to register and to receive some more detailed information about the book club. We hope you will join your UUCA community and especially our new members this morning who will join us for a Zoom room virtual social hour directly after the worship service. Sign up for the Zoom social hour by following the link in the weekly update or the link that is being dropped into the live chat right now. Through our live chat, we can express love and care for each other. As UUs, we know we have so many varied opinions. It is a strength of our faith and our congregation. However, the YouTube chat is not the place to voice and discuss those opinions, as those take away from the flow of the service. If you wish, you are invited to use our live chat feature for 3 purposes: to welcome and support one another, to affirm the hard work and effort of worship leaders and our fabulous audiovisual team, or 3, to spread good vibes. If you have questions or concerns about the sermon or worship, you can always contact me or the staff directly via email. And if you do notice yourself becoming upset during the worship service, please know we have a lay minister standing by in our live chat. Reach out to our lay minister this week, Barbara Begner, and she can arrange a phone call with you offline so others can enjoy the service. And now I want to invite you into some gentle care in our live stream chat. Please take a moment to welcome each other, to welcome and especially anyone who may be visiting into this morning's worship. And now, why don't you get out your chalice at home and join me in our chalice lighting this morning. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. We light this morning's chalice in honor of those who courageously have decided to join a congregation during a global pandemic when we are not meeting in person. There comes a time when people who are participating in this community decide to become a member. This is a serious commitment. It's a joyous one as well, because it's a way of declaring to the world and to oneself, this is who I am. What this community, what UUCA believes in and stands for, what UUCA does, this is who I am. On a trip to Israel a few years ago, one of my mentors, Reverend Dr. Galen Gingrich, had the chance to meet Natan Sharansky, a former Soviet chess prodigy who had spent some time in prison because of his human rights activism. Sharansky said that he learned the most important lesson of his life while in prison. People want two things, he said. They want to be free and they want to belong. But most people think freedom comes first and then belonging follows. What he realized in prison is the opposite is true. You need to belong in order to be free. We know more people today, more people than ever, are identifying as spiritual and not religious. We have witnessed through the advance of smartphones and individualized devices a phenomenon of loneliness. The retreat into the autonomy of the individual, as Gingrich puts it, has put our civil life at risk. And so we join a real life community where meaning is made of our lives, where your soul's journey is prioritized, where we lead with curiosity and a love of exploration of the Spirit. We believe the belonging that we find in covenanted community leads to the freedom that comes when you make meaning out of your life, your joys and your struggles. So we are celebrating membership today, and those who have chosen to join the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, I will read a list of their names, and then we will watch a slideshow with a little bit more information about them and what they look like, so you can be sure to greet them in the Zoom social hour. Would our newest members please also say hello in the chat as I say your name? We welcome Allegra Knight and Jeff Burns. Yay! We welcome Elizabeth Marsala to UUCA. We welcome Robert Swain. We welcome Lawrence Scholl, Jennifer Hegel, and Martin Scholl to UUCA. We welcome Casey Willis to UUCA. We welcome Andrew Barrocas and Alyssa Bersto. We welcome Diane Kaiser. We welcome Catherine Benson and Michelangelo Grigny to UUCA. We welcome Aaron Golan. We welcome Dandelion Prinsloo. We welcome Julia McPeak. And we welcome Claire Costello to UUCA. That's 17 new members we are welcoming today.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off. Won't you stand up and take a bow?
For being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. If it's a car you like, I'd surely buy you a Cadillac. With walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will stand real close and say thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend.
Yay, new member friends.
When I told my friend we were going to be playing that song in worship this morning, she declared that the second best thing to happen in 2020. So thank you. So won't you please join me in attempting a virtual responsive reading to welcome our new members. So for the congregation out there, I hope you will say with us the following words to our newest members. We welcome you with hope and joy as you join us in this covenanted community of faith, where we will support you on your spiritual journeys and work side by side with you for justice and peace. And all you new members out there, please join us in the following response. I am honored to join and fully participate in this covenanted faith community. I commit myself to support the mission and covenant of this congregation through my gifts and my service. And all of us, let us all say together, we belong to one another and offer each other the freedom to make meaning of our lives. Celebrate these new members. We will send out information, even more information about them, their interests, their origins, and how they came to UUCA. We will share that in a weekly update or some other place that we will figure out and share that with you so you can learn even more about our new members. And I hope you'll also join us for our Zoom Room social hour after the service today. So about 3 p.m. Just kidding. Just kidding. Right after the service today to meet our newest members at UUCA. We are so grateful for all of you.
And now let's join the Lovern Hill family for our movement prayer. Please rise in body or in spirit.
First we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring the gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share the gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. And now we hear the joys and sorrows of this worshiping community. We regret to share that Jerry Moskowitz's cancer has returned. Jerry and Izzy would like no calls at this time, please, but your cards, your emails, your wishes for healing and good karma are especially welcomed and appreciated at this time. Please hold the family of Sarah Howell in your thoughts and in your heart. Sarah was a longtime UUCA member who passed away on November 14th. Sarah was a former lay minister, an ex-opera singer, a stage actress, to name just a few of her talents. Her son Robert said Sarah loved UUCA deeply. A memorial service will be planned in the future. We offer our deepest condolences to Mark Denard and his family. Mark's father, Douglas Denard, passed away suddenly from a heart attack on November 18th. Mark and Janelle Denard welcome cards and ask that you hold them in your heart during this time. Please send healing thoughts to Ed Clark. Ed is currently undergoing treatment for leukemia. We send Ed Clark our loving energy. At this time, I invite you to think of someone in your life or someone out there who is in need of healing, of loving energy coming their way. Close your eyes and hold a vision of them in your mind. Speak their names into this holy moment, or write their names into the live chat now. We hold in our hearts people who are struggling with loneliness, grief, loss, or illness across the world. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find ways to be more loving to one another. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather in our way on this day, to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected, and to feel that connection. So now we still our bodies, we still our minds. We relax into this moment that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
You may or may not know that every first Sunday of the month, there is a 45-minute family chapel on Zoom for our families with school-age children. I and Chelsea Green, our children's music director, host this chapel designed not just for children, but truly for full families that include ritual, story, and live music. Now, this month we, of course, focused on gratitude and talked about how when we focus on the things that we don't have, then we can feel very empty. But when we focus on gratitude, though, it helps to heal that sense of loss, that sense of emptiness. Focusing on all the things we do have fills us up. And I shared one of my favorite gratitude videos and rituals with our families, and it received such a positive reaction that I wanted to share that with you today.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything is a gift. Stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything will feel gorgeous. All that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
So it's hard for me to watch that video and not just be filled with gratitude. And I'm wondering, what are things that you are grateful for? Perhaps just one or two words that can say the things for which you are grateful. And I want to lift up the woman in the video who used various shapes to write down her gratitudes. And so I love the hearts. And so I wrote down some of mine: yoga, my brother, community. And you may be wondering, well, how did you get those perfect hearts, Laura Beth? Well, don't draw them. Don't draw them. That's not the way to do it. What you want to do is fold paper together, and then you can just take some scissors, and you can cut out anything, circles, leaves, whatever is your heart's desire. And then you can use these to write down your gratitudes. Now, at Thanksgiving, I like to set these out for each person at their place and have a ritual of people actually writing their gratitudes and then sharing their gratitudes. See? The hearts. And then you can choose to put them wherever you would like to. You can don a counter in your home. You can put them outside on a tree like the woman in the video. But more importantly, it's an opportunity for families, for friends to come together and share their gratitudes. So I hope that you will find a way to do that this week.
Good morning. I'm Ellen Beatty.
And I'm John Guyton, and we are co-chairs of the Building a New Way Together campaign.
And we're so delighted to be with you here this morning to share some stories and some news about our campaign. 2 weeks ago, while I was walking on the Beltline, I had a wonderful chance encounter with a dear former colleague of mine, Mike. He was visiting Atlanta from Brunswick, Georgia. He moved there several years ago to help his elderly father care for his mother, who was suffering in late stages of Parkinson's. His mother has since passed away, but Mike, who's an only child, told me he wants to stay down there as long as his father is still alive. Afterwards, I was happy to hear, he and his husband Christopher plan to move back to Atlanta and make their home here again. But first, I learned, they have a big plan. They're going to spend a whole year in Europe, living in 12 different countries for 1 month each, over 12 months. By taking advantage of monthly rates on Airbnb and using some savings they have, they're going to turn this major transition in their life into an adventure. That idea really captured my imagination. Wouldn't it be special to stay in a new city, in a new country for a whole month? Long enough to really get a feel for it and make some memories there. And then do the same in a new place the next month and the month after that. Wow, I thought with a pinch of envy, this will be the experience of a lifetime. But upon some more reflection, I realized I've actually been living an experience a whole lot like that. Over the past 3 months, alongside my absolutely peerless and indefatigable co-chair, John Guyton, as well as 50 other volunteers in our campaign who took part in our visiting, I've been on an unforgettable tour of the richly textured tapestry that is our congregation. Together, we set out to visit every member and friend of UUCA with the goal of having meaningful conversations about you and about our beloved community. And what a journey it has been. I was privileged to visit dozens of congregants and to have really good, rich conversations each time. people opened up and I discovered so many facets in them that I'd never recognized before. I never failed to learn something new about each person's life, about our congregation, and sometimes even about myself. As I sat with so many of you on porches, in yards, on the patios of coffee shops and pizzerias, or in front of a Zoom screen, I really relished these moments of quality time that I had with folks coming from such diverse perspectives, young and old, single, married, divorced, widowed, gay and straight, newcomers and old-timers, locals and out-of-staters, some sick, some well, some connected and some lonely, some buoyant and some struggling. Along the way, I found people in different places in their relationship with UUCA, too, something that it was a privilege to explore with them, if even for a moment. Some are in the exciting early stages of something akin to a major romance, falling in love with what we have to offer here and seeing a future together. Others are as if in a sturdy, committed, mature marriage where they love this place, warts and all, and give much of themselves to keep us steady and on course. Still others are in more of a rocky relationship where, along with love, they've experienced hurt, loss, or disillusionment, and it has tested some part of their commitment to our community, and they feel wary or tentative. And then there are those for whom UUCA is like a dear old friend or beloved relative with whom they have profound memories and feel deep affection, but who they rarely see anymore. It brings them joy, though, when they do. For every one of them, it's plain to see that UUCA holds a special place in their heart, filled with meaning, and that it has changed their life. I found people in many places in their personal lives as well, excitedly anticipating the arrival of an adoptive child, mourning the loss of a parent to COVID, coping with memory loss and facing a future of assisted living, sending children off to college campuses in the middle of a pandemic, fearful for their safety, coping with a recent separation, enjoying the newfound flexibility of remote work, dealing with furloughs and job loss, exhilarated but exhausted with overcommitment to UUCA and all the great things going on here. There were delightful surprises along the way, too. I discovered that people I never connected to one another had been in small groups together for years. Two couples I never realized associated with each other turns out are fast friends and traveling companions. I found a shared bit of history with someone who grew up near my alma mater and walked the same streets as I did in those years. One woman I thought who was only very lightly and intermittently engaged with UUCA was actually involved in so many groups and activities here that I was astounded and humbled. What a remarkable experience it's been to be privy to so many memories, hopes, and dreams that surround this place. One woman told me the story of how she was married by Reverend Jean Pickett in the Cliff Valley Sanctuary over 50 years ago, while another couple recounted being wed by Reverend McCarr just a few short years ago. I heard how a sly invitation during Wonderful Wednesday to check out the ukulele group led to taking it up and years of joyful ukulele fellowship. I heard the story of past capital campaigns and great satisfaction that someone else was doing it this time. I heard so many people say how excited they are about what's happening right here and now at UUCA with a dynamic and talented staff and singularly excellent online services and program offerings. There's a real buzz in the air and a lot of pride and joy. And this goes for the new campus as well. I talked with people who can barely wait to be in the new building, hearing the choir with excellent acoustics, watching kids play on the playground, holding community meetings on racial and immigrant justice, and performing in our community theater. Above all, I witnessed the beauty of generosity and true reflections of profound gratitude. John will be telling you more about just how much generosity and collectively how many gave of their talent and treasure. and you will be amazed by it. But the individual decisions to give were incredibly stirring to me. Here, once again, I saw the spectrum. From a single mother with no child support, making a real effort to carve out a modest monthly payment for 3 years just to be a part of this collective effort to keep this place going. To a retiree who had planned to leave UUCA a gift in her will, but came to the realization that now was the right time to give. The act of making an inspired gift, well beyond what she had imagined giving, moved one longtime member to tears. Tears of love for this community. So I say thank you. Thank you to this congregation for sharing so much of yourselves with us, for your generosity, your vision, your hopes, your fears, your wisdom. Thank you for forging the path that has brought us here and for saying yes to building a new way together. Thank you. And now I'll hand it over to John.
Thank you, Ellen. Before I share the results of the campaign, I would like to take some time for personal reflection. Like Ellen, I was heartened and touched by the congregants that I met in my 70-plus visits. As was demonstrated by the results of this campaign, UUCA is a very generous congregation. We truly are building a new way together. When I think back to the campaign, one event stands out to me. This occurred at the end of the September kickoff event. Several congregants immediately jumped on a Zoom call to share their thoughts. They were so excited at the end of that event celebration. It was wonderful to see so many smiling faces and how many families with children were on that call. The overriding feeling was, we can do this. For a lot of people, the renovation plans and campaign goals seemed like a dream up to that point. But after we announced on the kickoff that over $2.8 million had been pledged, folks realized this really could become a reality. A huge thank you goes out to the many volunteers who helped in that wonderful September kickoff event. During my visits, I enjoyed getting to know many of you in a more personal manner, especially those whom I had not known before. Hopefully in a year, I will be able to reconnect in person with so many of you that I met during these campaign visits. I was also touched by the response in the past week that we had with the $75,000 challenge, gift challenge. The generous congregations who put up the money for that challenge match, and the congregants who responded by submitting their pledges, along with many who increased their pledges that they had previously submitted. Another big thank you goes out to the 45 folks who volunteered to be visitors during this campaign. Yes, 45 people volunteered to be visitors. The success of this campaign could not have occurred without you. Reaching out to your fellow congregants to discuss the campaign with them, you truly showed that this campaign was much about building community as it was about pledging. I know many of you had a wonderful experiences getting to know your fellow congregants better and reconnecting during this time of COVID. And now, as of this morning, I have the results of the Building a New Way Together campaign. The goal of the capital campaign is $4 million. As of this morning, the total amount pledged is $4,180,000. The 2021 stewardship campaign, the goal is $750,000. And the total amount pledged there, as of this morning, is $218,000.
600.
Excuse me, $617,000. Glad somebody else is paying attention. As impressive as these numbers are, we are not finished yet. As great as these numbers are, it's a milestone onto our next step. We still need more people to engage in both capital, but also the annual stewardship campaign, where we have not reached our goal. The $750,000 annual 21 stewardship pledge is within reach. Those who have not pledged yet will be hearing from campaign visitors. Those who can still participate in this historic campaign. Please say yes to a visit when you are contacted. While this public phase is ending, we will continue to make visits. You can also participate in this campaign by requesting a visit using UUCA's website. Lastly, I'd like to thank Reverend Taryn Strauss, the wonderful UUCA staff who has worked so hard to make these campaigns a success. They have worked hard as a team in all aspects of the campaign from the beginning. I also would like to thank my co-chair, Ellen Beatty, and our campaign director, Glenn Wagner. But it's you, the people who submitted their pledges, who are the real heroes of this campaign. Your generosity has been amazing. Thank you for entrusting us with this amazing project. Now let's finish the rest of the campaign strong. We can do this.
Thank you so much. And now the offering will be given and very gratefully received.
Of those antibiotics, how about stopping eating when I'm full up? How about them transparent dangling carrots? How about that ever elusive kudo? Thank you, India. Thank you, terror. Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, frailty. Thank you, consequence. Thank you, silence. How about me not blaming you for everything? How about me enjoying the moment for once? How about how good it feels to finally forgive you? How about grieving it all one at a time? Thank you, India. Thank you, terror. Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, frailty. Thank you, consequence. Thank you, silence. The moment I let go of it was the moment I got more than I could handle. The moment I jumped off of it was the moment I touched down. How about no longer being masochistic? How about remembering your divinity? How about unabashedly bawling your eyes out? How about not equating death with stopping? Thank you, India. Thank you, Providence. Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, nothingness. Thank you, clarity. Thank you, silence. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for singing your heart out, Laura Beth. Thank you for giving your heart out, all of you, for bringing each other hope when hope can be hard to find. That's what we have brought each other, a rose in the wintertime. Blessings on your generosity, blessings on your gifts, and how readily you share them. Please join me now in the dedication of our offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. This morning's reading comes to us from the United States Poet Laureate, Joy Harjo. Perhaps the world ends here. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instruction on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table we gossip, recall enemies, and ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. So ends this morning's reading. I return to the work of Joy Harjo, the first Native American poet to serve as U.S. Poet Laureate, who, by the way, has just been reappointed to a rare third term by the Library of Congress. Harjo, a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, says, "The story of America begins with Native presence, thoughts, and words," she says. "Poetry is made of word threads that weave and connect us." So on Thanksgiving, we begin with Native presence, and we offer gratitude for her poetry threading through our lives and connecting us to deeper wisdom, to our families, to religious community, and to everything. We are entering a season of some complication. As I raise my boys, I become more aware each year of the historical tragedy, the genocide of this national holiday that it recalls for so many, and how the powers that be have appropriated what was truly violent colonization of this land and have turned it into a fictional tableau of mutual sharing and gratitude. I wish the story we tell about this holiday was the truth. of how the earliest people of this land miraculously made a family and a community meal day after day. They sat around a table or in a circle. They tilled the soil and worked the land, and then they gathered around and shared a blessing. They thanked the earth for water, seeds, and sun. They spoke with honor and gratitude for the elements, animals, and conditions that gave them life on the land we now are a part of. They made meaning over a community meal, like as humans have always done. I long for that to be the traditional narrative of this holiday because I think that is enough, more than enough even. This year in particular, we return to basics. We get back to basics. We find ourselves exhausted, yet still foraging and making meaning, a meal out of hardship. This week, many of us will feel we are gathering at the wrong table or with the wrong people. Rather than keeping an open chair and a place setting for the prophet Elijah to claim a mythical ancestral place at the table, as is the custom at the Jewish Passover Seder, this year many of us will have more than simply an empty place setting. We will have a gaping chasm at our table. During this time when we were hoping for different anxieties, for that old stress of sitting around a table with family who voted for the other guy, whose political and social beliefs are farther ever from your own across a divide much stronger than any table, when they are now just far away, across town or maybe even across the country. This year, we don't even have the chance to reconcile with those to whom we belong. Instead, we continue to reconcile with our own isolation. As Joy Harjo writes, the kitchen table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. So how can we take shelter, find comfort, make a place for glory at a kitchen table? Emptier, yes, but still here. It is easy to be grateful in times of ease and abundance. I mean, what kind of spiritual practice is that? To say thank you for the pony you received on your birthday, the one of your dreams. That type of gratitude based on luck or privilege, that is prosperity gospel. That is not the thread that connects us, weaving meaning throughout our lives. That is not the place from which our gold is mined. We are people who seek to practice gratitude when the options have become limited, when famine has hit, when you are out of plans and out of energy. For those of us who have survived other times of great historical trauma, or those of us who have ancestors who have survived the Holocaust, or the Middle Passage, or colonialism, or slavery, we know gratitude is much more than mere feeling. It is a practice, a discipline, an act of openness to nature's simple beauty, an act of commitment to improve the quality of your relationships. It is hard spiritual work to spend at least some moments of your day in a pandemic in gratitude, no matter what. Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Dr. Galen Gingrich writes, if spirituality is the practice of opening ourselves to everyone and everything else, then gratitude is the leading indicator of our spiritual progress. Gratitude is the hallmark of people who practice radical openness to life. Its presence in our lives, moment by moment and day by day, becomes a source of meaning and joy that will not desert us, even in our most difficult times. Now, I don't know if you recall, but back in April, or maybe it was March at the beginning of the pandemic, I invited you to embark on a simple spiritual practice. Take a walk at the end of each day, and as you walk in your own neighborhood, name those things you are grateful for, without judgments or caveats. And last I heard, some of you are still doing it, or attempting to take that walk, and in doing so, naming your gratitudes. When this becomes a practice, it can undergird the persistence and the fortitude required to stay resilient through this pandemic. And for those of you who are staying home this Thanksgiving without guests, facing a lonely Thursday among an ocean of lonely Thursdays, I want to thank you. I want you to know I'm proud of you. I am proud of this community who believes in science and public health and community care, who sacrifices in order to keep each other and others safe. Your sacrifices are precious. They are inspiring to all of us. At times, I know it can feel like you're not doing anything, not contributing to the world as you once did. But I want to assure you, staying home and keeping safe is taking action on behalf of a better world. While we have just done a very big thing collectively with this capital campaign, and that is definitely worth celebrating, I also believe this is a moment for what William James called those tiny, invisible, loving human forces that work from individual to individual, creeping through the crannies of the world like so many rootlets. As we look forward to a time of Advent, of preparation and quietude, let us consider the possibilities of making Advent extra special, extra meaningful this year. A little further down the path of a spiritual discipline of gratitude, you come to acts of kindness. I was thinking for our family's Advent this year, we would do 24 acts of kindness, one each day. There's a congregation in Colorado who is interested in us joining them in what they're calling the Kindemic, committing one act of kindness for someone else in the congregation during the Advent time, singing a Christmas carol in front of their home in their lawn, or making someone a meal. So this is something we are also considering, joining them. But if you would like to join me, beginning on December 1st, in an Advent season of kindness, let us begin on that 1st of December with an act of kindness toward yourself first. The human story is one of resilience and resistance, resisting oppressive regimes and staying resilient in the face of famine, pestilence, scarcity, and destruction. A daily practice of gratitude builds your resilience, connects you to all things that move through you, giving you life and meaning, and giving your life meaning. And we cannot wait for better days to practice gratitude. W.E.B. Du Bois wrote, "Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future day or future year. It is today that we find that we fit ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Now are the hours of work, and tomorrow comes the harvest and the playtime. And while we may long for some more convenient season, that playtime for sure, this season calls to us now to do our best work now, to stay home, to stay in gratitude, and to stay connected. This is how we fit ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow, when we can gather safely once again. And we know that day is coming. So, gather around a table, some kind of table, even the kitchen table, and offer gratitude. Perhaps This year's table will feature a computer and a Zoom call where you can share the family memories and discuss the new gravy recipe. Joy Harjo reminds us, every day a new world begins around a kitchen table. At this table we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. Amen, and happy Thanksgiving.
During this time, many of us, have leaned on this congregation more than ever, and we are here for that. Our final hymn this morning, as we talk about impractical gratitude, is Lean on Me. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, and we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be a friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things that you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be a friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road and I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be a friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, cousin, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Enough folks in the room for clapping. There's like 8 people here.
This is the day we have been given, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Blessed be, and happy Thanksgiving.
to keep